All right. Hey, speaking of funny, chuckly Congress people.
Yeah.
But now I feel like we need to have a little more respect because he has just been inducted into the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame,
We have a
ladies and
celebrity.
gentlemen. Oh my God, Representative John Yarmuth is here. They recently.
Cheers.
I did. Good morning, sir. I did not realize there was a Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame, but congratulations.
Thank you. It actually is just the Bourbon Hall of Fame. It's kind of the galactic Bourbon Hall of Fame.
Oh, I see. It just is based, of course, in Kentucky, but it is galactic.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
It is galactic. Right. It was a great honor, and I was inducted with some really cool people, 5 others, and we had a great ceremony in Bardstown, which is kind of the heart of bourbon country. It's about 50 miles south of Louisville.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Could I think I need the Queen music since we have it handy, but there's a statement from I guess the head of the whole thing that said this year's esteemed class celebrates the visionaries, artisans, and partners that have made Kentucky bourbon and our beloved Commonwealth the gold standard of American whiskey. Sir, we just a whole new volumes of respect for you. Congratulate. Okay.
Thank you very much. Well, and I'm sure that the numerous discussions we've had about bourbon on this program contributed to my qualifications.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. So, and by the way, I love you with a Bourbon Hall of Fame nomination, and also 0 F's left to give as you're leaving Congress. You just said, so the states' right thing was bull all along. Surprise, surprise, you tweeted. But I mean, it is kind of astounding that Lindsey Graham has blown up their entire states' rights mantra for years and years and years on a women's right to choose, right?
Absolutely. This is one of those jaw-dropping moments that I think both parties were again, both parties had their jaws dropped because nobody could understand why in the world he would do it. Yeah. It flies in the face of Republican doctrine. It undermines one of their, I guess, their biggest election strategies. And now it's given Democrats something to just run with, because it's clear that there are those in the Republican Party who want to ban abortion on a national basis. And we already saw the impact. We've seen the impact that this is going to have on electoral politics and special elections, and certainly in the referendum in Kansas. And the polling that we've seen, and not just polling, but also the amount of new registrations, disproportionately women who are registering to vote on this issue. So it's given us a real shot in the arm, and Lindsey helped us.
Maybe you should send him some bourbon.
Yeah.
But you just said, I appreciate Lindsey's honesty here. Congressional Republicans are now openly promoting their plan to make basic health care illegal and imprison women and doctors. I mean, I think people don't realize how radical it is until you read it.
And, we're seeing and hearing anecdotally the real horrible impact it has on many women across the country. We know about the 10-year-old in Ohio who had to go to Indiana, but there are case after case of people who have serious threats to their health because of pregnancies, and doctors won't treat them because the doctors are afraid. Yeah. This is really the magnitude of this decision. The Dobbs decision is coming to light in very, very dramatic ways, and it deserves to have serious electoral consequences.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what do you think of Ron DeSantis's little stunt and Greg Abbott? How this is not illegal, I don't know, beyond being immoral and I think politically disastrous. It sounded like DeSantis yesterday is doubling down. He just thinks this is, fantastic ongoing prank, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that this sheriff in Texas is now investigating what happened because he thought it was potentially criminal. I definitely believe there is a possibility of criminality here. So, what struck me about it, though, Stephanie, was how evil do you have to be to go through the steps that they went through to create this charade to get these people to agree to get on the plane, and creating false brochures and all of these things, and setting up procedures where they had to report to Seattle for all of these things. I mean, you've got to be one of the most diabolical human beings in the world to think this stuff up.
Yeah.
And all for a political stunt.
I mean, yeah, well, as you say, the one sheriff is obviously investigating the criminality of this. But DeSantis, after the condemnation, DeSantis and his administration have denied there were any laws broken, and he pledged to push ahead with a new $12 million program to relocate, quote unquote, unauthorized aliens to so-called sanctuary jurisdictions. He said these are just the beginning efforts, vowing to spend every penny he can on the program. I mean, if this doesn't present the starkest difference of Democrats and Republicans, this is not solving any problem. It's a cheap, cruel stunt, right? That he only notified Fox News about. None of the jurisdictions where these human beings are going, including children and babies. And, it's not solving the problem. It's just, being a jerk.